All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I haven't seen you in 2 weeks now, but I hope you are all doing very well and you have been doing fine. If any of you are curious, the ACT went well. That's something I got a lot of messages wishing good luck. So thank you. Thank you for that, everyone. Um, Today is lesson 2 of our virtual Zoom semester. Um, if this is your first time joining us, I want to welcome you. And it's totally fine if you missed our first class. I will be reviewing some of the concepts today, so it's not too important. But let's get right into things because we do have a lot to do today. So there are just a few reminders I want to set before we get started. First of all, like I said 2 weeks ago, if you would like to contribute something, if you have a question, any sort of comment that you want to add, please raise your hand virtually. You could do this on your computer by clicking on participant and then raise hand, or on your iPhone or iPad by clicking on more and then raise hand and ask your question that way. That way, my team and I will see you have a question and we will be able to answer. The other thing is that I'm going to assume now that all of you are now in our WhatsApp chat, something that we went over at the Q&A session on Monday. If you are not in that group, if you are not in our WhatsApp chat, you must reach out to me today, so I can make sure that you are in that group. If you are not, once again, if you're not in the WhatsApp chat, if you do not know what WhatsApp is, if you are in any of these categories, it is very, very important that you message me, you contact me today. I will be giving you my email address again at the end of the class, so you have that. But it's very important that you reach out to me because that is the only way that I contact you and tell you information about, whether we have class this week or not, and what to expect and what to bring, all of that information. Okay, and one more thing I want to mention is 2 weeks ago, last class, I asked you to type some things into the chat. Unfortunately, a bunch of the chat I wasn't able to access after the class. So if there is anything else you want me to know, like you have your phone number, your email address, or any comments you have, please put those in the chat today because I was only able to get about 25% of the chat from the first class. But if you did write anything that you thought was important for me to know, such as your phone number, you want me to add you to the WhatsApp chat, or you have something specific you want to learn, you can go ahead and do that again today in the chat by messaging me privately. You should all know how to do that from last week's class, 2 weeks ago, sorry. Okay, Joe, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so last class, we learned how to use Zoom. That was kind of our main topic, how to join a Zoom meeting, how to use the chat. And we also looked at FaceTime, a program that allows you to communicate face-to-face with other people virtually on your smartphones. Today, our topics are going to be, we have 2 topics. Number 1 is online shopping, and number 2 is social media. 2 very important topics that are both extremely relevant now, and that's kind of why we decided to teach these today. If you did take a class with me before, this was lesson 2 of last semester, so it should be somewhat familiar to you. But it was also about 10 weeks ago, so this is definitely a great review. But there are many of you here who this is your first time taking a class, so I'm very happy and excited to teach this lesson to you. All right, Joe, let's go to the next slide. So we're going to start now with online shopping. And I'm sure you've all heard of this. This is basically the ability to purchase things and to browse different items online on your computer, on your technology devices, without walking to the store and picking out the item and doing everything yourself. Now, we're going to be looking at 4 websites today that are pretty common and are all in different shopping categories. There's going to be one in the everything category, meaning one you could buy anything on: food, clothing, and books, all 4 different categories that you use to buy things virtually. Now, here on the screen right now, you see 4 bullet points, and these are 4 common things that we're going to show you that are relevant to all of these websites. The first one is a specific search bar. What that means is that when you open up the internet, you get a search bar, meaning you could type in a question, you could type in, "I want the weather today," or anything that you want to know. On every online shopping website, they have their own search bar so that if you type in something specific, you will not get results from the entire internet. You will only get results from that specific website. Now, number 2 is filtering a search. And what that means is that you're narrowing down your search to get exactly what you want. So for example, this is an example I always give. If you typed into Google Apple, you will not only get Apple iPhones, you will also get Apple juice, you'll get Apple sauce, you'll get apples to eat, you'll get many different types of apples, and you might not get exactly what you're looking for. So filtering a search we're going to show you is how to narrow down your search to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Number 3 is adding to the cart. This is something that kind of resembles the experience you get when you are actually in a grocery store. You're in a store, you put things in your cart, but it doesn't mean you actually want to buy it. It means you're thinking about buying it and you want to keep it in the cart so you have it for later. And finally, suggestion/history. Because this is all on your technological devices, it actually keeps track of things that you've viewed recently and things that you're interested in, and it will show you kind of pop-ups on your screen when new things are coming out and suggestions of things to buy. So for example, if you're always buying fruit, I would not be surprised if when you went on to Fresh Direct, you saw so many pictures of fruit because your computer is keeping it in the back of its mind. Oh, this person loves to buy fruit. Let me show that to him or her. So these are a few of the things that are common to all online shopping websites. And we're going to open up a few of them today and mention these 4 things so that you could see it. But they are all the same thing. They do look a little bit different, but they all follow the same format, which is typing into the search bar what you want, filtering that search to find exactly what you're looking for, adding it to the cart, and going through with your purchase. All right, Joe, you can go to the next slide. So the first website we're going to look at is Amazon. Now, Amazon is one of the most popular online shopping websites now. I'm sure even if you haven't used it before, you know what it is because it is very popular. And Amazon is used for shopping for anything, whether it's food, books, grocery, and like anything you can think of, you can get on Amazon. Amazon isn't a specific website like Fresh Direct or Gap or Barnes & Noble, websites we're going to look at later. Amazon is neutral and you can buy anything on it. Amazon does not have a retail store. It actually has some sort of bookstore, but typically Amazon does not have a retail store, meaning it's completely virtual. Unlike, let's say, Barnes & Noble, we're going to look at later, that you also have online shopping, and you could also, let's say, go to an actual retail store. So we are now going to look at Amazon. Julia is going to show you how to get to Amazon from Google and how you could actually go through with the purchase. So Joe, you could share your screen with Amazon, and Julia, go ahead.
Okay, so the way that you're going to access Amazon is you're going to type in either www.amazon.com, or you could just type in Amazon to the Google search bar, and probably the first link that comes up will bring you to Amazon's website. So once you are on Amazon's website, you'll see that there's a search bar. And that means that top search bar is where you can type in anything, and that will bring that item to your screen, and then you can decide if you want to buy that item and send it to your house. So if Joe types in, for example, t-shirts, then you can see that a wide variety of t-shirts is going to come up, and Joe can scroll through all of the different options and choose one of them. But if Joe wants to sort of narrow his search, he doesn't want to look through all of these t-shirts, he only wants a specific color t-shirt, then he can type in more specific details into the search bar. So he could say blue t-shirts, and then only blue t-shirts would come up. So that's one way to filter your search using the actual search bar. But you could also filter your search using the side column. You could see that it says department, so you can filter your search depending on which department you want to shop in. So if it's from boys clothing or if it's sports clothing. And you can also filter your search on top whether you want it to be Amazon Prime or regular Amazon. So if it's Amazon Prime, that means that the order is going to be delivered within only a few days. And if it's just regular Amazon, then it's likely to take longer than a few days, maybe a few weeks or even a month. And you can also filter your search by the delivery day. So if you want that item to come tomorrow, you can check off that box on the left, and then only the shirts that are available to come tomorrow will now be displayed on your screen. So you can choose from shirts that are available to arrive tomorrow. So once you click on an item that you want to buy, you can scroll through the different colors. So here you could see that You can select your color, you can select the size. So it automatically gives you the blue one as the first one because you typed in blue t-shirts. But you could choose the size if you want a different color, you changed your mind, you can go through this list of colors, and then you're going to click add to cart, which is this yellow button, and that's going to add this item to your cart. And then once you add it to your cart, you can visit your cart. On the top right corner, you could see that little cart icon. And right now, Joe has 2 things in his cart. And once you click on that cart, you can see both of the items that are inside of that cart. And you can proceed to check out, that yellow button. And then you would put in your credit card, you would put in your address where you want the items shipped, and then it would send those items to your house. Just one last thing. So right now, Joe isn't signed into an Amazon account, which means that if he deleted this tab on his Google browser, then the things in his Amazon cart would not save. So if you're adding things to your cart and you're not sure if you want to buy them, then you should definitely sign into your Amazon account, because otherwise all of the things that you put in your cart won't save and you're going to have to refine them if you decide to buy them later.
Okay. So Julia basically just walked you through the process of finding something on Amazon, typing, in this case was a t-shirt, into the search bar. She narrowed it down a bit from all t-shirts to only blue t-shirts, and also narrowed it down so that it only showed t-shirts that would arrive tomorrow, meaning that the shipping date is pretty soon. She showed you how to add it to a cart, meaning both of these items are now in the cart. You'll see usually at the top right, you'll see the cart, and you'll also see a number telling you how many items are in that cart. In this case, we said was 2. And then that big yellow proceed to checkout button is where you could go from kind of having items that you are thinking about to actually going through with the checkout. Now, Joe, if you click on that button, proceed to checkout, you'll see that it will ask you for your information. Now, typically on almost all shopping websites, they'll ask you for your shipping address, so it knows where to send the item to. It will ask you for your credit card information, so it knows how to charge you. Kind of really basic information that you think would be important. Now, a bunch of seniors have asked me about kind of safety and security and whether it's comfortable typing in this type of information online. And I always say the same thing. If you are shopping on a website that is common, for example, Amazon is pretty much a very common website, I would feel comfortable putting in your information. If you are shopping on a website that maybe you haven't heard of or isn't so familiar, then I would take a second, maybe do some research, make sure it's a 100% reliable website, and then you could type in your information. But I would definitely do that extra step to make sure that it is reliable. Once you have typed in your information, there's one last button which says checkout, and the item will be shipped to you. You'll find it in your lobby in a box. So that's basically the process of buying something on Amazon. Now, this is very, very similar to all online shopping websites. It's the same process. You type in something you want to buy, then you add it to your cart. You go to proceed to checkout, and it's the same thing. And you are going to see this as we're going to do 3 more websites: Fresh Direct, Gap, and Barnes & Noble. So we're now going to look at Fresh Direct. And basically, this follows the same exact procedure. If you do have some questions on Amazon, I would wait and see if, as we go through Fresh Direct, Gap, and Barnes & Noble, you see some sort of pattern, because it will be very repetitive. So Fresh Direct, the only difference between Fresh Direct and Amazon is that Fresh Direct is, first of all, only food. So you cannot go to Fresh Direct and type in t-shirts. You will not get what you're looking for. That's something that's also important. You have to make sure you're online shopping in the right place. You can't be going to Barnes & Noble for t-shirts. You have to make sure that you're in the right online shopping website. And also, Fresh Direct items are not shipped in a box like Amazon items. You see how it says Fresh Direct products are not shipped to the customer's home. Rather, they are hand delivered, because it could be cold food that you're ordering, meats, fish, all this stuff that really can't be just thrown into a box and shipped to your house. So that's one of the main differences between Fresh Direct and Amazon. And Joe's now going to open up Fresh Direct. And I'm going to hand it over to I'm doing Fresh Direct. So let's open up Google. We're not gonna go to Google. Usually Google is the place that you start for any of these websites because it's basically like the main interface. And just like Amazon, we're gonna type in Fresh Direct. And once you type that in, typically the first, second or third website will be Fresh Direct. The reason why it was so far down is because these ones above are advertisements. You see how it says see more ads. So you might have to scroll down a little bit, but you're looking for that link that says Fresh Direct grocery delivery service. You could also just type into the search bar freshdirect.com. That also works, just like amazon.com. Most of the websites just have that, follow that same format. Okay, Jay, you could open that up. Now here's the Fresh Direct homepage, and you're going to see a few similarities between this homepage and looking at Amazon's. You're going to see a bunch of items. You're going to see that search bar. You're going to see that that cart where you have your items saved for later. Let's give one more second as we open up the website. There we go. Okay. So you can see that Fresh Direct, just like Amazon. There's our search bar, right? It says search, and that's where you could type in exactly what you want to purchase. You'll see we have our cart at the top right of the screen, right? And it says 0 right now because we have nothing in our cart. And you'll see some categories, which you could actually filter your search before you even make the search. For example, if you only want to buy fruit, there's a button that says fruit. So instead of typing in, let's say, the fruit you're looking for at the beginning, maybe first click on fruit. And if Joe even hovers his mouse over fruit, you look at all these more categories: apples, avocados, bananas, melons, pears. There's even more categories. So the point is that when you're online shopping, you should make sure that you're as specific as possible, because you do not want to find kind of thousands and thousands of searches for your one apple that you want to purchase. Like if Joe just typed in apple into Fresh Direct, he would get apple juice, apple sauce, apples in boxes, apples, single apples in cases. There'd be so many different options. So you want to make sure that you are specific. So let's say we want to purchase an apple. Let's go to fruit. Let's go to apples, which I see as a category there. And you'll now see all the different types of apples. Now, sometimes, as you just saw that popped up, that was an advertisement. Sometimes you will get, 20% off, 5% off. You'll get some of those pop-ups. You could always X out of those at the top right, where you see a nice big X. Now, before we start clicking on apples, let's look at the right side of the screen, where you see we could select the size. So 4-packs and singles, bags, cases of apples. Let's click on 4-packs and singles. Let's scroll down, Joe. Let's say we want apples that have a sale. Right, that apples that have a sale, we're going to check off sale. And let's say we want some organic apples. We'll check that off. And now, as you can see, we went from, I'm not sure how many it was at the beginning, but it definitely was not one. We had many, many searches. Now we're left with one search. And this is pretty much exactly what I'm looking for. It is a 4-pack and single. It has the sale. You see it went from $6.99 to $5.99, and it is organic. So I found exactly what I was looking for just by checking off these boxes and narrowing down, filtering my search. So just like Amazon, you're going to click on add to cart when you want to add this item to your cart. You could even increase the number from 1 to, let's say, 2. And then you buy 2 packs of apples very easily by clicking on the minus to subtract and the plus to add. So Joe's now going to click on add to cart. And now, if you look at the top right of the screen, you'll actually see that the cart, Joe, if you scroll up, the cart now has a 1 there, meaning if there's one item in my cart, that is the group of apples that I just put. So if Joe clicks on the cart, he will then open up the cart and he'll be able to go through with the purchase. You'll see here the apples, organic Lady Alice apples. You could empty the cart if you want to kind of go back to 0, or typically to go through your checkout, you'll click on that orange checkout button, and you'll see that it even says you've saved $2 because we said that we checked off sale, so it's telling us that there was a sale. We actually saved $2 on this purchase, and typically, if you are going through some sort of sale, it will tell you how much money you are saving on this specific purchase. Joe will then click on checkout, just like we did on Amazon. And we will be asked to type in, just like Amazon, our information, including our credit card, our shipping address, all that information. And just like Amazon, Fresh Direct is a pretty common website, one that I would not be afraid to type in your information. But anytime you type in your information into the internet, you're always putting in some sort of risk, but it is not so extreme, especially when it's one that's very popular, like Fresh Direct and Amazon. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. So as you can see, Fresh Direct, we pretty much followed the same routine as we did on Amazon. And we're now going to look at our third website, which is Gap. And Gap, as you all know, is a clothing company. And one of the main differences between this and Amazon Fresh Direct is that Amazon Fresh Direct don't have retail stores. Gap, as I'm sure you do know, has retail stores. You can walk into a Gap, retail store and purchase items there as well. The reason why people would do online shopping is just out of convenience. It's easier to buy things on home and browse things from home than go to a store. Also, if they're, let's say, out of stock of something inside the store, it will tell you that online, so you don't have to waste your time going to a store. And also returns are very easy because instead of shipping it back to the Gap facility, you could just bring your article of clothing into a Gap retail store and do the whole return exchange system there. So that's one of the benefits of having a retail store as well as the online store. Okay, so Joe's going to open up Google. We're going to go through Gap. I'm going to pass it over to Caroline to explain how to get there.
Okay, hi guys. So if Joe can X out Fresh Direct. Okay, so what Joe's going to do now is he could type in either, like Jordan said before, gap.com into the search bar, or he could just search in Gap. Either is fine. Should load. Sorry, guys. Okay. Okay, perfect. So, okay, so Jordan typed in gap.com to the search bar, and now he's at the Gap website. So, like Amazon and Fresh Direct, Gap has a search bar right in the right corner. And there you can type in anything you want and it'll come up. So if Jordan types in, let's say like sweaters, there's a variety of different sweaters that'll come up, and there's a way, but it's given men's sweaters, women's sweaters, even toddler sweaters, any type. So for the Gap website, you could filter your searches right on top. So you could filter it by color, by the pricing, or by the department. So if you're looking for a green sweater, now all green sweaters will come up, or any sweaters with a hint of green. Then you could filter your price to make it in the like price that you want, what you're looking for, so it's not too expensive. And yeah, then you can click on men's sweaters, and now you've narrowed your search down to exactly what you're looking for. You could keep adding different colors and stuff like that. And then a different way to filter your searches is to go on top, which it gives you everything you need. So you could start off by clicking on like women, and then from women, it'll give you a variety of different things, and right there is sweaters. So now you've already narrowed your search down to the department you want, which is just women's sweaters and pants. What? Okay, perfect. And then let's say I like a pair of pants. So now Jordan is going to click on a color. I like the yellow. So Jordan, click on the yellow color. Okay. And you could pick any size you want, and you can add it to the cart. Now something you can do, wait, X that, Jordan. Something you can do is, since Gap has retail stores, you could choose to either ship it to your house, which is pretty easy, or if you want it to come faster, you could also pick it up in the store, which is completely free and perfect. You could even choose which store is closest to you, and you can just pick up your item from the store and get it faster. So then once you have it in cart, you can go to checkout. And Jordan has 2 in his cart because he likes it so much. But in the top right corner will be how many items you have in your cart. And right now, Jordan is not signed into Gap. But again, if he were, I think this is a pretty safe website to sign into. It's very known and good. And you can check out and yeah.
Okay, great. So one thing I just noticed that Gap actually allows you to do, which I don't think you could do on Fresh Direct and Amazon, is sign out as a guest customer, meaning that if you do that, you don't have to create a whole account and do all that, but you could just sign in, but you could just type in your email address and continue as like a guest shopper. This is pretty, this I would say is useful if you're just shopping on Gap for once. For example, if you're buying your son a birthday present and you're never going to use a Gap ever again, you don't think it's a website that you shop a lot, then you could just sign in as a guest. Typically on a website like Amazon or Fresh Direct, a website that you use a lot, getting an account is definitely pretty useful, especially because it suggests things that you could purchase based off of your history, based off of things that you've bought in the past. Okay. So Joe, we can go back to the presentation. And we're now going to be looking at our last website, which is Barnes & Noble. And Barnes & Noble is just another shopping website. This happens to be specific for books. Although it is specific for books, I am aware that Barnes & Noble does sell some movies and board games, things like that. But typically, Barnes & Noble is a place to go for books. And Barnes & Noble, like Gap, has a retail store, meaning that you could do exchanges inside the store. You could pick up things in the store. You do get a benefit that way. So you can do things like that. Okay, so Joe's now going to go to Google and let's open up Barnes & Noble. And I'll pass it over to Julia to explain how to do that.
Okay, so similar to the other websites that we've been looking at, Barnes & Noble's has around the same format. So as you can see on top, you have the search bar, which is where you can type in any type of book that you're looking for. So let's say Joe wanted to read the book called To Kill a Mockingbird. So he would click on that search bar, he would type in To Kill a Mockingbird, and all of the different versions, the different copies of that book would come up, and Joe could choose from the one that he wants. Maybe he wants a hardcover book, or he wants a soft cover book. He wants ones with, there's different cover options. So he can choose from these different options and click on one of them and add that book to his cart. And once he adds that book to his cart, you would see the little one in the cart symbol on top. So here Joe clicked add to cart, and now this little pop-up shows he can either view his cart or he can continue shopping. So if Joe wants to view his cart, he wants to see all of the things he has in his cart, he would click on view shopping cart, and that would bring him directly to his cart. And this would show Joe has right now two copies of the To Kill a Mockingbird book. And he can, if he accidentally put 2 in his cart and he only wants 1, he can click on that number 2 and change it to 1. Or if he wants 3 copies, he can edit the amount of copies that he wants of that book. Another way to shop for a book, let's say you're not sure what type of book you want. Right now, we came to Barnes & Noble's with this one book in mind. We wanted To Kill a Mockingbird. But let's say you just sort of want to browse through the website. You're not sure what book you want to get. You can click on this little books icon on the left side. And you could see what Barnes & Noble's recommends. They sort it by genre. So you can say, oh, I only want a fiction book, or I only want a nonfiction book. You can also see the books that they recommend or the bestsellers. So if you click on any one of these categories, so let's say Joe wanted a mystery and crime, like fiction book, he would click on that part, and that would bring him to a bunch of books that all fall under this category, and he can browse through these books and choose one that he wants to purchase. So this is the way that you would look for a book when you don't have one exactly in mind, but you just want to sort of look through the website. And also Barnes & Noble's has a lot of different options. So let's say he didn't want an actual book. You could also see on top there's ebooks. So that means you could read the book electronically. There's also textbooks, so that like if you need them for school, you can try and buy a textbook. You can search and see if they have them. There's also toys and games at Barnes & Noble's, even though it's more well known for its books. You could see if they have any sort of toys or gifts that you want to buy. So you can search through, you can either search for a specific item, or you can click on any of these like pre-made categories to find a specific item.
Okay. So you can go back. Great. So basically, the 4 websites we looked at today were Amazon, Fresh Direct, Gap, and Barnes & Noble. The reason why I chose these websites is because they are all different shopping categories, and they are pretty much at least one of the most popular in each category. So I definitely recommend a part of your optional homework for this week will be to browse one of these websites and see if you can make a purchase, or at least see if you could find something that you want to purchase online. Online shopping is definitely something you have to get used to, something that you have to kind of play around with. But once you get used to it, it makes shopping much easier and allows you to actually have a much more efficient shopping process than going to a store, finding out it's out of stock, and then just going back home, then returning it and exchanging it. It's just a longer process. When you have the online shopping website, you could browse different things, and you could pretty much find exactly what you are looking for. So before we move on to social media, I see Michael, you have a question, so you could unmute yourself on the middle of the screen, and then we will move on to online shopping. Go ahead. Social media.
You zip through an important point. Suppose I'm searching a general area, not some well-known stores, say electronics. I find a site. What advice would you give for determining its reliability and safety?
Great question. So I first of all want to point out that I think next lesson, we are spending a portion of our class on privacy and security. So we will definitely spend more time on that. But in general, if you are ever on a website that is not Amazon, that is not the biggest in its category, and you just type in the name of the website into Google, so not like Amazon.com, but if you just type in the name of it into Google, you will see customer reviews, you will see kind of many different links, you will see news articles, and you could actually look at a few of those to get some information about the website. For example, if you type in Amazon, you will get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of news articles and involvement in the stock market and all this stuff. That pretty much means it's reliable. If you don't see any customer reviews or anything like that, I would be a little skeptical to actually go through with a purchase. But if you are interested in buying, let's say, a book, I don't see why not use Barnes & Noble, then use one of the low down ones that you're just not so confident with. So if you do have that opportunity to buy something at a larger, more reliable service, I would definitely do that. Next week, we are going to give you a bunch of tips on how to make sure that everything's reliable and how to be secure and private on the internet. So I definitely will get back to that next lesson. Okay, Joe, let's go to the next slide. Okay. So once again, if you do have any questions on the online shopping process, you have a few options. You could either put them into the chat, meaning that my team and I will see them. And we will also be having a Q&A session tomorrow where you could come with all your questions and we will answer all of them. So the most ideal situation is that as we're talking, you're writing down questions that you have, and you will join in tomorrow's Q&A session. I will tell you the details about that at the end of the class, so that you could join in and ask those questions. Okay, so social media, which is the second half of today's lesson, is also a pretty popular thing happening right now in both kids and the lives of adults. I have a few pictures down below of the most popular ones, including Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Snapchat, Pinterest, Twitter, and WhatsApp. All very popular social media platforms right now. You should at least be familiar with one of them, WhatsApp, the program that we use to communicate with you. And I'm sure many of you do have Facebook accounts and Instagram and YouTube, and you've used some of these as well before. So social media is any digital tool that allows users to quickly share and create content with the public. Some people like to use social media just to browse other people's posts and videos and pictures, or some people like to post their own pictures and share them with their friends and their colleagues. So we're not gonna be looking at all of these today, but two of the most popular ones, which are actually owned by the same owner, is Facebook and Instagram. Facebook is one of those that is more popular among the senior generation as well as adults. Instagram is more leaned towards kids, but it is also very popular in the adult world. We're going to start with Instagram and then go to Facebook. So Joe, if you go to the next slide. Instagram, which you see that's the logo down below, is a popular photo sharing app for smartphones. Compared with other social networks, Instagram is relatively simple. It's focused mainly on sharing photos and videos with your friends. Instagram is the first app that we're actually going to look at, actually besides WhatsApp, that is a third-party app, meaning that it does not come with your phone. It's one you have to download separately. So Joe, you could share your screen as I'm finishing talking. But basically, Joe's now going to share his phone screen. And we're going to show you how to, number one, download Instagram. And you should really pay attention to this, because downloading Instagram is the same process to download any app, not just Instagram, but it's the same thing for Facebook and any other third-party app. We're going to show you, number one, how to download. Joe, you could share your phone screen. And then number two, how to browse the feed and how to post something on Instagram. Once we have Joe's phone up, I'm going to pass it over to Caroline to show you how to download Instagram from the App Store. All right, Caroline, go ahead.
Okay, so once you're on your phone, you can go to the App Store app, which has a big A on it. Wait, go back so they can actually see the A. It's blue and has a big A in white on it. This one right next to the camera app and the stocks app right in the middle. Okay, so if Joe clicks on that, perfect. If Joe clicks on that, he can then go to the search bar, like we searched on stuff on the web for like food and clothing and anything from Amazon. He can go to the search bar and type in Instagram. So once he types in Instagram, he can click on the first one that comes up, which is just Instagram, not Instagram likes, not Instagram tracker, not Instagram followers, just Instagram. And if he clicks on that, Instagram will pop up. I don't know why TikTok is there, but Instagram will pop up and it says Instagram directly on it. So this is the right app and you know it's this one. So Joe already has Instagram on his phone. So there's no way to get it. But if we go to the app below it, which is just a different app that's not Instagram, usually what would happen is you press the get button, which means you're getting the app. And if you click on that button, you can either, if you have the new phone, you can double click on your phone on the right side and your Face ID would allow you to buy that app or get it for free. So now Joe just got this Fonts app. So now it's downloading. Yeah, Jordan?
I just want to point out, many of you do not have the phone with the Face ID. So if you are not in that category, meaning you have that circle button at the bottom of your screen, you just have to lay your finger on that home button and it will detect your Touch ID, which is the other option. Face ID is only for phones in the past, I would say 2 years. So if you're not in that group, you just lay your finger on the home button and it will scan your finger.
And also, if your Face ID or Touch ID is not working for some reason, there's always the option to just enter in your Apple ID and that'll allow you to get the app. So then once you have the app, you could press the open button, which is right here, underlined in red. And if he presses the open button, it'll take him directly to the app. And now he can just start setting up the app. So if we go back to Instagram, which is the app we were trying to set up, it'll be in your screen right here. And if he clicks on Instagram, now he has Instagram.
Okay. So that's the downloading process, which is pretty simple. Go to the App Store, which is the blue icon with the white A, type in the name of the app you're looking for, which in this case, you're typing in Instagram, and you click on Get. It's pretty much as simple as that. The reason why Joe's didn't say Get is because he already has Instagram. So if you already have Instagram, you'll typically see open, meaning that you already have it. You don't have to get it again. but this is only used for apps that are not pre-downloaded with your phone. So Messages, FaceTime, email, these are all apps that are already there for you. Those you don't have to go to the App Store to download. Instagram is one that's not made by Apple. It's not made by Microsoft. So if you are on one of those phones, you have to download it separately by going to the App Store and typing in Instagram. Now, once you are in Instagram, Joe already has an account. He's actually on the Mittler Senior Technology account, but you won't see all these pictures yet. You'll have to start by following people. Here's what's important. You'll see at the bottom a few buttons over here. You'll see a house. You will see like a magnifying glass. You'll see a bunch of buttons here. Home is usually where you want to be to browse people's pictures. So what you want to be on home when you want to see what people posted, when you want to see recent things. You should be on home. Search is that second option, which is the magnifying glass, and that's what you click on to search for a specific person. So you'll see this when by clicking on that, you'll see a search bar at the top of the screen, and you could then type in something specific. So for example, if you want to only see pictures relating to the election, you could type that in. If you want to see a specific account like Mittler Senior Technology, you could type that in. The home is only for people that you are following, people that you are following. So Joe, if you type in, you could type in my Instagram account because you're on Mittler Senior Tech. So if Joe types in my Instagram account, you'll see it will come up over here at the top. And if Joe clicks on it, he can then follow my account. So right now he's already following my account. It says following, but if he wasn't, you would see a big blue button that says follow. And once Joe clicks on follow, now every time he opens up the home, which is the button at the bottom left, my pictures every time I post will appear in Joe's feed. So those will come up in Joe's feed, but only the people that Joe is following. So you have to make sure that everyone you're interested in, whether it's a channel like CNN, you could follow CNN. It's not only people, it's also programs like that. You can search for those and follow them. Now, if Joe goes to the button at the bottom right, which is the profile picture, if you click on this, you will see your profile, pictures that you have posted, pictures that you have shared. So you could see that this is the Mittler Senior Technology Instagram account. You'll see here all the pictures and videos that we've posted about the classes. Now, how to post on the Instagram account, I'll actually, I'll pass over to Julia if you want to just show them how to post something on their Instagram account.
Okay, so to post something on an Instagram account, you're going to click on that plus button. That's the middle button on the bottom like bar of functions. So you would click on that little plus button, and that would allow you to create a new post. So you would either choose from library, photo, or video. So if you're choosing photo or video, that means that you're going to be taking a picture or a video right now. So it would be something that you take right now and you want to post it right now. So you would take a picture and you could post it, or you could take a video and you could post it. Or you can click on library, which would mean that like you have a picture that you maybe took yesterday or even a few years ago, and you want to scroll through your entire camera roll, all of the pictures that you have saved, and you can scroll through those and then choose one of the pictures to post. So right now, Joe chose this Mittler Senior Technology photo, and this is one that he already had in his camera roll, and he can choose to post it. So as you can see right now, it's kind of cropped because of the way that the picture is long. So Joe can scroll out so that the entire picture can be shown, or he could just click on the little, like it sort of looks like half of a box over here, and this would fit the picture to the screen so that it would be perfectly fit, so that Joe didn't need to like scroll out. It would fit the frame. So then once Joe gets the picture formatted the way that he wants, he would press this next button on top so he could proceed to posting this picture. So you have a bunch of different options. If you want to edit the picture, you can put a filter on it, which would mean that you could like change the way that the picture sort of looks. You could edit it on top using that little magic wand, and you can choose from different options to like edit and filter your picture. And once you get the picture to how you like it, you would press next again, and that would bring you to the next step. So now this is your last step before posting your picture. So you can write a caption, which would mean that when people see this picture on their feed, they would see your picture, and right underneath it, they would see a couple of words that you could add. So you can write, join our classes on Sunday. And so now when people see this Mittler Senior Technology picture on their Instagram feed, they would see underneath it, join our classes on Sunday. Underneath that, you can tag people, meaning this is Jordan's company. So you could tag Jordan Mittler so people know when they click on the picture that this is Jordan. And you can tag Caroline, you can tag multiple people. And you can also, so in order to tag another person, you would click on this like sort of shadow of a person over here. And this would add a second tag to the person, to the picture. So you could search people. So let's say I wanted to add now Caroline to the picture, I could tag her as well. And now you could see that both of their Instagrams are going to be tagged on this post. And then Joe would press done. And then the final thing that I'm going to show you is you can also add a location. So let's say we were having these classes in person, and Joe wanted to post this on his Instagram and let people know where the classes are taking place. He could add a location, Ramaz Middle School, so that when people see this post, they know that they can go and join the classes at the middle school. And once Joe finishes all of these steps that he wants to add, he doesn't need to add a location. He doesn't need to add tags, but he can if he want to. So once he adds these, he would press share, the blue button, and this would post the picture to Joe's feed. And anybody who is on their Instagram who follows Joe would now see this picture.
Okay. So let me just mention that everything Julia showed you, or most of it, is not really crucial to actually posting. For example, the tags, the location, filtering, the magic wand, those are all really extra things. Those you really don't have to pay attention to. It's more just selecting the picture, then clicking on next at the top right of the screen until you get to this page, typing in a caption and clicking on share. The tag people and location are ones you should not worry about until you get more comfortable with social media. Those are really extra things that you could do once you get a hang of it. So once again, to post, you want to click on the plus at the bottom in the center of the screen. Joe, you can go back there. You will select the picture that you would like to post. You can even post a video as well. You will click on next, and you will type in a caption if you would like to add one. Then you will click on share. And that's the whole process of how to post something on Instagram. It just like online shopping, it is something you have to get the hang of. There are a bunch of things you have to kind of get used to doing. But once you get the hang of it, it is pretty easy. We post on the Mittler Senior Technology Instagram account, multiple times a week. And it takes a few seconds to actually go through with it. So once you get the hang of it, once you post, you will get the hang of it and you'll learn how to do it. But I also want to mention that a lot of people don't use Instagram for posting, but instead of doing that, they just like to browse other people's posts and don't like to share their own pictures, which is also a possibility. And instead of posting, you could just follow other people's accounts and browse their own pictures and videos. So Joe, you can go back to the presentation. I see Renee, go ahead.
Yes, if you want to view someone else's Instagram, do you have to get their permission? Do you have to make them a friend?
So on Instagram, this is a great question. Some people are on private and some people are public. If the person you're trying to follow is public, usually this is like famous people or like big organizations, which they don't really care who's following them. They'll select it as public. So you could just click on follow and that will be it. If it's a private account, for example, my account's private and most individuals, their accounts are private. Then once you click on follow, it will send, let's say you're trying to follow me, it will send me a notification. Renee is trying to follow you and I'll be able to accept it. But that's only if my account is private, but there's nothing really different that you have to do in terms of how do you follow me. You just still have to click on that follow button. But if it is private, there will be that extra step that I have to do, which is approve your request.
And then on the other side, when you want to post a picture of yourself and you click share, then do I have to write who I want to share it with?
So the only options are private and public. if you are private and someone tries to follow you, you'll get the notification saying Jordan Mittler is trying to follow you, accept or decline, and you'll get that option to actually do it. When you create your Instagram account, it will give you that option to either click on private or public. Most people use private, especially if they're not famous people or huge organizations. Most people select private, and what that means is that anytime someone tries to follow you, you will get some sort of notification. Jordan Miller's trying to follow you, accept or decline. You could use either one of those options.
So suppose I decide to try this, then I should send to my kids and friends, I just created an Instagram account. You can follow me.
Yeah, so anyone who has an Instagram account, if they type in your name into the search bar, your profile will come up and they can then follow you. If you get a new Instagram account and people don't know about it, yeah, go ahead and text them. I just got an Instagram. You could find me, type my name in, and you'll find me that way. Okay, Marion, go ahead.
I have no question. I don't know.
Okay.
Just the host said.
Okay, Joe, let's go to the next slide. So for Facebook, which is very similar to Instagram, it's owned by the same, they're all owned by the same umbrella. We're actually going to show you a video, which is going to explain kind of how to get a Facebook account and how to use Facebook. So Joe, if you could pull that up, we're now going to show you a quick video that is going to go over, downloading Facebook, getting an account on Facebook, and how to use Facebook. Okay, let's open that up.
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for a better life.
Facebook is one of the most popular social networking sites in the world. In this video, I'm going to show you how to sign up and also how to navigate your account. To get started, go to facebook.com and fill out the form you see here. You'll need to enter your first and last name, and then your email address. You'll also need a good strong password, one that's easy for you to remember but hard for other people to guess. Avoid using really obvious passwords like your name, predictable patterns, or the word password. The more random your password is, the better. Next, enter your birthday and gender. This may seem like a lot of personal information to share, but don't worry. If you're concerned about privacy, you can always change your settings later to limit what other people can see. When you're ready, click the button that says Sign Up. And a page will appear that says Welcome to Facebook. All you have to do now is confirm your email address. Afterwards, you'll be able to access all the features on the site. Just go to your email, find the message that Facebook sent you, and follow the instructions. Congratulations! Now you have a Facebook account. One of the first things you'll want to do is start exploring, so you can learn your way around the site. For example, this is your homepage, which is the first thing you'll see whenever you sign in. It includes the publisher, where you can post status updates, links to other parts of the site, and finally your newsfeed. This is where you'll see updates from the people you're friends with and also the pages you follow. Let's take a look at my profile next. Your profile, also known as your timeline, is your personal page on Facebook. It displays your photos, school and work info, and anything else that you've shared. Friends and family can also share posts on your timeline, for example, to wish you a happy birthday. At the top of the page, you'll find features like the search bar, messages, notifications, and more. You can access these anytime, no matter where you are on Facebook. For example, watch what happens when we go back to the home page. All of the options are still there. Do you have a mobile device, like a smartphone or a tablet? Then you might want to try the Facebook app. The app lets you do almost everything that you can do on the desktop version, from reading updates to checking notifications. The interface is different, but still pretty similar to the features on the website. So with a little practice, you should be able to use it in no time. For example, here's the Facebook app for the iPhone. You can easily scroll up and down your news feed, and access other common features here, like messages and a link back to your newsfeed. The More button lets you navigate to other parts of the app, including your timeline, events, and more. The Android app has a similar button for the very same purpose. This time you'll find it in the upper left corner. Just tap or swipe right, and you can access almost all the features you're used to finding on the website. Now you have an account and everything you need to get started with Facebook. Both the desktop version and the app make it extremely easy to keep in touch. Soon it'll start to feel like second nature as you get more and more experience with your account.